All right, so are you ready to navigate the world of air traffic control? Because today we're doing a deep dive into acing that interview.
Absolutely. And it's not just about knowing the job, it's about showing you can handle it, under pressure.
It's a high-stakes role, for
Hmm.
sure, but also a rewarding one, right?
Hmm.
We've got RoleCatcher's Air Traffic Controller Career Guide and Interview Guide to help us out today. So listeners, think of this like your pre-flight checklist.
And I'm happy to share my experience both in the field and with the whole interview process to help you really nail it.
Perfect, love that. And don't forget, we'll also see how RoleCatcher's AI can give some personalized advice for your specific situation.
Absolutely. That's key.
So let's jump right in with a question RoleCatcher highlights. Something that seems basic, but it's a bit of a trap. How did you become interested in becoming an air traffic controller?
Yeah, you definitely don't want to give a canned response here. Interviewers can spot those a mile away. It's about showing genuine passion.
So more than just loving planes then.
Right. It's about the skills, the mindset. Like maybe you've always been into aviation, but are you also detail oriented? Do you thrive under pressure? Those are the things you want to highlight.
Did a specific experience make you realize this was the path for you? Share it.
Exactly. A good story can really make your applications stand out.
Instead of just saying, I'm a quick thinker, tell them about a time you had to make a split-second decision with a positive outcome.
That's the ticket. Even if it's not directly related to aviation, maybe you were captain of a sports team or you thrived in a high-stress job, those experiences translate.
Speaking of stress, this next question from RoleCatcher is key. How do you stay calm and focused during stressful situations? Because, let's be honest, this job is not for the faint of heart.
Right, the air traffic control tower, that's not the place to panic. Long hours, confined spaces, high-pressure decisions. The career guide really emphasizes that.
So how do you answer that honestly without sounding like you're immune to stress? Because, well, none of us are.
The STAR method is your friend here. Think of a concrete example from your past where you faced a stressful situation head-on and aced it. It doesn't even have to be work-related, right? Could be something from your personal life where you had to stay calm under pressure. Think, what was the situation, the task at hand, the action you took, and the result? That's the STAR method.
Show, don't tell. Now, I wonder, does RoleCatcher say anything about tailoring this for different job levels? Like, would a trainee answer differently than a senior controller?
You're spot on. And this is where RoleCatcher's AI really shines. You can plug in the exact job description and it analyzes it. It pulls out keywords to see what that employer is looking for.
So it's basically giving you a cheat sheet for that specific job? That's incredible.
Exactly. Like if they're really big on handling high traffic situations, boom, to emphasize that, even if it's just relating it back to a crazy project launch you managed.
So smart. Okay, back to the interview. RoleCatcher's next question is all about safety. How do you ensure the safety of air traffic in your area of responsibility? And we know from the career guide that area could be huge.
This is about showing you know your stuff. Procedures, regulations, protocols, you need to be specific here.
Right, so not just, I'd follow the rules. What's an example? Something concrete. This feels like a good time to use those technical details from the career guide.
Totally. Let's say they ask about keeping planes apart. Instead of a vague answer, you could say, well, I'd use radar vectors to direct them on safe paths, making sure they're following the separation standards that's 3 miles laterally or 1,000 feet vertically, according to the FAA.
Now that's what I'm talking about. You're not just repeating info, you're showing you know how to use it. It's okay to even mention specific regulations in the interview. It shows you're prepared.
For sure. And remember how the career guide emphasized staying up to date on tech and procedures. This is where you mention those extra courses or certifications you have.
It proves you're serious about the field. Speaking of which, RoleCatcher asks, how do you keep up with technological advancements in air traffic control? Which, with all the new radar systems, digital stuff, even drones, it's a lot to keep track of.
It is, and they want to see you're proactive. Do you go to conferences, read journals?
What about those online forums where controllers share info? Those are super valuable too. This might be another area where RoleCatcher's AI can help, right?
100%. It can suggest relevant courses, certifications, even professional groups based on what you want to do and the jobs you're looking at. It's like a personalized roadmap.
Love that.
Mm.
Okay, so we've got the technical side, the safety, staying updated. But air traffic control, it's not just about talking to planes, it's about the people flying them too, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That human element is huge. And it leads us to another big part of the interview. How do you deal with, well, let's just say it, difficult people?
RoleCatcher puts it bluntly. How do you handle challenging or difficult pilots?
I have a feeling this is where those calm under pressure skills are really tested.
Yeah, because it's going to happen, right?
Yeah,
Not every interaction is going to be smooth sailing. You're going to have some tense moments up there in the tower.
definitely. High stress environment, sometimes emotions run high, but you can't let that impact safety.
So how do you strike that balance? How do you handle a difficult pilot situation?
Communication is key. Clear, concise, especially when things get heated. Repeat instructions back to make sure everyone's on the same page. Use calm, neutral language. Don't get drawn into an argument.
Right. Assertive but not aggressive. You're the authority. We got to keep it professional.
Exactly. And if a pilot is being really difficult, like questioning instructions without a good reason or going off course, you might have to escalate. Bring in a supervisor, alert the right people, maybe even start emergency procedures if it's a safety issue.
Because safety always comes first. Does RoleCatcher talk about de-escalation techniques?
Sometimes it's not just what you say, but how you say it. Oh, for sure. They highlight active listening, even when a pilot's frustrated. Just acknowledging their concern or offering a different solution can really de-escalate things.
What's about being firm but understanding? Okay,
Yeah.
before we wrap up, I want to touch on one more thing. High traffic situations. RoleCatcher has a whole section on this, and for good reason.
Yeah, managing a crowded airspace, that's a whole other level. It's about multitasking, prioritizing, having that clear mental picture the whole time.
And that's where those spatial reasoning skills come in,
Yeah.
right? Thinking ahead, anticipating problems.
You got it. Weather conditions, potential conflicts, you got to be ready to make those split-second decisions.
Intense. I get why air traffic controllers are known for being cool under pressure.
It's in the job description. And
Yeah.
remember, even if you're just starting out, you can still show you can handle this. Think about those star stories from your past.
Right, those situations where you had to think on your feet.
Exactly. Maybe you managed a crazy project launch, or you were the one everyone went to when things went haywire. Those experiences matter, even if they're not directly about aviation.
It's all about making those connections, showing those skills translate. And hey, if you're struggling to tailor your answers, that's what RoleCatcher's AI is for.
For sure. Their feedback can help you fine-tune everything, making sure you're highlighting the right things for that specific job you want.
Like a personal coach, but for interviews. All right, before we go, any final advice for someone starting out in air traffic control?
Never stop learning. Aviation's always changing, new tech, new procedures. Embrace it. Look for ways to grow, take courses, and don't be afraid to ask questions.
I love that. Always be learning. Well, that's our deep dive into the world of air traffic control interview prep. We covered a lot today, from showcasing your skills to handling those tough situations. Remember, preparation is key.
Absolutely. Knowing what to expect builds confidence, and that's what's going to help you nail that interview.
So go out there, crush it, and show them what you've got. Thanks for joining us on the deep dive, and until next time, safe travels.